Hey you, welcome to my channel. Now I'm going to teach you how to turn your plain cups into this beautiful piece. Watch to the end if you want to figure out how. You are going to need your cups, obviously, and you're going to need two long rectangular pieces of fabrics. I can't tell you the specific length, but let it be long enough. So ladies, the next thing you are going to do is that you are going to take your cup, fold it into two and let it be equal on the side, because you are going to be making a notch at the middle of the top side and at the middle of the bottom part, just the way you see me do. You're also going to take the fabric and fold it equally, and you're going to make a notch at the top side and you're going to make a notch at the bottom side. This is just to determine the middle of the cup and the middle of the material that you are using. Place the material on the ground, wrong side facing you, and you're going to place the cup on it notch to notch. As you can see, the top notch is facing the top notch of the material and the bottom notch of the cup is facing the bottom notch of the material. So you're going to pin them down. Okay, so just be very careful while doing it and be very precise, and let there be space on each end. As you can see, there was space at the bottom and there was space at the top side. Holy Spirit, help me as I'm about to explain this, because it's going to be a war. So you are going to take enough fabric and pleat it forward, and then you are going to take it exactly on the notch that you made, because that is the middle. We are going to start this pleating exactly on the middle, and you are going to take your pin and pin it down. So after pinning it down, you are going to go over to the other end and pin it down at the middle also. That is at the middle, the notch that you made at the top. I know you can't see the notch now, but just make sure that it's aligning notch to notch. So far, so good. The first pleat was a success. This is going to be so fun, so watch to the end, okay? So we are going to make the second pleat, and it's just the same thing, but one thing is that a hack that I would like to tell you is you should start your pleat from the middle so that it will be easy to navigate to the end. Okay, that's a take-home tip. But regardless, if it's easier for you to start at the end and then move the pleats to the other end, just you know how to pleats, but that was how it was easy for me, starting from the center, pinning it down at the center and then taking it all the way to the edges. I'm done with my second pleat, going on to the third pleat. Okay, now I'm going to show you closely what I was saying previously. You could see how I just made sure that it's well pleated at the middle, and then I pinned it down at the middle. After pinning it down, I took it straight to the end, then I pinned it, and then I took it over to the other end, arranged it and pinned it also. So that was how it was easy for me, because if you choose to do it without pinning it, you are going to find it very hard for you. So now that you get the old gist, I'm going to speed it up now till I get to the end of this, so I won't waste your time and mine would also be conserved.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine.
So now that I'm done with one side, you are going to move over to the other side. So please watch closely as I'm doing this. You are going to fold it in a way that it's going to be curved, not straight. As you can see, the first place that I made on the other side overlapped with the other pleat. I'm sorry I took that out of the camera focus. Now I'm going to show you what I did on the other side. As you can see, I brought the edge of the pleat to overlay on the pleat close to it. I think you understand it better, so that when you take a closer look at it, it's going to look like an eye. All right, like I always say, guys, if you don't understand what I'm saying, you definitely understand what I'm doing. I might not be able to communicate well, but I think my illustration drive the point home. So just like what we did to the other side, we are going to do the same thing to this side. As you can see, I applied my arc, that is starting the pleats from the middle, pinning it down at the middle and then taking it over to both ends. It's easier that way, and you would get a long-lasting pleat. So one thing you should also note is you should make sure that it's the same pleat sizes. It's not that one is going to be big and the other is going to be small. If you decide to start with big pleats, just make sure you continue that synchronization to the end. Now I'm going to speed up the whole process. I must confess, guys, the pleating process takes time, and it's also not as endurable, but it's enjoyable because you would continuously anticipate the results of what you are doing, and that would give you strength to continue. It's definitely worth it at the end, because I'm definitely trying this on my future work.
Just two hearts running wild, never sleep, never stop. As we shout from the top, we're gonna be two hearts running wild.
So my beautiful people, we have finally come to the end of this our pleating stage. This is the front, and take a look at the back. It's not that pretty, but we are going to cover it up. So the next thing we are going to do is to go over to our machine and sew around. This is what it looks like. I've sewn it, and I've also gone ahead to remove the pin. Now take your scissors and then trim off the excess fabric you have on both ends. Our cup is not just going to be this bare, we are going to cover it up. Take your tape and measure the widest part of your cup. For me, I add 7.5. I'm going to use half of that number plus 1 inch. I just used a total of 4.5. After folding my fabric, I measured the 4.5, and then I times that 4.5 times 2 to get this measurement that I'm marking here. This is so that when I cut it and I bend it over and I fold it again, it's going to give me the perfect round circumference. If you don't know how to cut a round circumference before, this is how you cut a round circumference. But in this case, this is just the smaller minute type. So I'm going to fold it over. Since I'm using 4.5, I will take my tape and start from the middle. I'll measure 4.5. Always make sure that your tape is at the tip of the material, and then I'll just measure 4.5, round it to give me my round circumference. Now after that, I'm going to highlight the curve with my chalk and use my scissors to trim it off. So this is what we have. This is your round circumference. Now you are going to fold your round circumference into two. It will give you something like a half moon, and then with your tape you are going to measure to find half of the measurement that you have. The total length was 9, so half of what I had was 4.5. I just highlighted it, I just marked it right there. The next thing I'm going to do is to measure 1 inch on each end, the top end and the bottom end. After measuring, you are going to go over to the sewing machine and connect it to the middle like this, so that it will have a hollow. So it will have a cup, so that it will have depth. Okay, so that's just the reason for this. So now that I'm done stitching it down, this is what we have. This is the depth that I was aiming for. I'm going to trim off the excess that I have. You are going to place this lining on your cup, and you are going to make sure that it's the right side that is facing you and there is an hollow on it. Okay, you are going to press the material down on the cup so that when you wear it, it's still going to have room for your boobs. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to pin it down all around, and after pinning it down, I'm going to go over to the sewing machine and sew it round on the cup. So this is what we have. We are going to also trim off the excesses. I guess for this I gave too much excess. So to have a much more pleasant result, just go ahead and give it a good, tight, strong press, okay, so that everything would relax and you'd have something beautiful. Now we are going to be covering the top of our cup. You are going to cut a sling fabric. Okay, this is going to act like a bias to us, but if you already have a bias, just go ahead and use that. I don't know why I keep taking this off from the screen. So you are going to start from the inside of the cup, and then you are going to place your material right sides facing each other. You are going to sew. Now this is it. When I was done sewing, I bent the first side before sewing, and I also folded the other side so that I would have something looking neat and clean. So after sewing that, you are going to bend it over, okay, like this, and then you're going to sew on top. This is going to give you something like this. It's just like we are covering the top of the cup. So since I've been able to teach you how to level up your cup game, why don't you give me a like, or better still, a subscribe. Bye.